No wonder we're hated and unwelcome here. I'd like to go on next to the phone call, the wake-up call. A lot of the Mandela affected people are like, there's numbers keeps popping up. What is up with the numbers? Now, on the old Sagittarius arm, where I always remember being from, it was much more of a chaos world. And while there were numbers and number sequences and stuff, spiritual forces tend to just like be themselves. They were like poltergeists. They would manifest energy, do what they were going to do, and then dissipate, because manifesting the energy for any prolonged amount of time was extremely difficult. That doesn't seem to be the way things run here. We're seeing the same numbers pop up over and over and over and over, and we're seeing things that don't make sense, like views changing, or numbers changing, or dates changing. And I'm like, the numbers are the language in this reality for the spiritual forces. This is how they communicate things to each other, to us, who knows, but this is a mode of communication. Like, I keep looking over and over and seeing 1111. This has never happened to me. I've seen friends who got obsessed with numbers, and I just never really understood what was going on. It just never was an issue with me, because I'm not particularly fond of math or numbers or stuff like that, but the 1111 started to become undeniable for me, and then I saw all these different ME people saying that 1111, 33, 410, 88, and different sequences of numbers were coming up over and over and over. You keep seeing numbers pop up, whichever those numbers may be. Numbers are the language of these more orderly entities in this reality. The numbers keep changing because the message keeps changing. YouTube keeps changing my views, my subs, my income. I've seen my views go down and go up and freeze at one number for hours and hours, and then like jump to another number, and strange things. And I've also seen in the news numbers changing, dates changing. Really, really strange things. And the same types of numbers seem to be attached to the same events that keep going around and around in a circle. Like, it's almost like you can choose the numbers, like 410, 1111, 88, and they're going to be attached to some kind of event or some kind of messaging coming through. And that is a much more machine-like way of dealing with stuff than just like random spiritual, passionate, the way it used to be on the Sagittarius arm. The days have changed. I keep looking at the clock and seeing the same numbers. The same things keep happening on these dates. These dates keep popping up again. Or I relive these days. That's happened to me, where you end up in like a mini time loop and you have to live it again. And it's finally dawned on me, all this time later, months later, maybe it would have been important to look at those dates. There's a reason why this keeps coming up again. But again, since numbers were not my interest, it's taken me ages to notice that this has been going on and on and on and on. Take note of what sequences of numbers keep popping up. This is a communication, but test the spirits. Just because something's communicating with you doesn't necessarily mean it's good. Doesn't necessarily mean it's bad, but you gotta test the spirits. You do not want to be led astray, because there's lots of evil out there, and we don't have the experience that these spiritual forces do, because they were roaming around long before we were born. Test the spirits. Do not be led astray by self-worship, ideologies, or evil spiritual forces, or try and keep your head clear and all that, but try and be open to what you're seeing. The changes. It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. A lot of people see the changes when they wake up, like they go to bed and things are one way, they wake up and they see things have changed to some other way. For me, I'm one of the people that I feel really sick, and then I know something's changed. So there's a lot of you guys out there, Mandela affected, that you either feel sick, you feel hot, like hot sweats all of a sudden, or you get headaches, or you get ringing in your ears. I'm not getting any ringing in my ears, but I'm seeing a lot of people are getting ringing in their ears. Now, I wanted to touch upon, very quickly, I'll just touch upon the fact that this machine here is communicating 0 to 9 coding with the numbers that we're seeing pop up, rather than 0101, except for the 1111s, which could fit into a conventional binary with the 0101. this could be a very strange way of the universe trying to order itself from whatever crazy thing that happened that made us end up being here. And as for the simulated counterparts of people that we knew, they are just operating on a different intelligence system. Is it really them? I don't know. They seem to have different memories, and they're running on a different wavelength than we are, and they do not want to hear about truly right-brained way of doing stuff. It's foreign to them, it's irrelevant to them, and it's irritating to them. I also wanted to go into a possible simplification or loss of dimension in this place. I'll try and make it quick because I don't like to have super long videos, you know what I mean? But what we got is Evin Powers made this video about the arms disappearing on Shiva at CERN. But he also was brought to my attention that Leonardo's vitruvian man, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but the properties of this had changed also, and yes, it has. So what we're seeing in this dimension is two armed individuals. And what are we looking at? We're looking at the squaring of a circle, which is awesome. It's cool. Leonardo figured it out. That's great. But there was a third arm and leg set which are left out. The arm going all the way up and the arm going all the way down. And also another set of legs that were much further spread apart. And what is that? The circle, the square, and the triangulation. Now you might be like, what the hell are you talking about? The triangulation, see, I drew in the extra as it was. He's like holding the top of the circle with the up hand, and then the down hand was just down like this. And Leonardo liked to like write backwards and invert and mirror image and things like that. So if you mirror image the man here, which you'll have to forgive my drawing, I'm not Da Vinci. If you mirror image him, his arms are going up and down. So if you mirror image the side that goes up over here, you have two arms going up. If you mirror image the side that goes down, you have two sides going down. And that leaves you with a diamond sequence, and it also leaves you with this shape, the up and the down, which could be interpreted in many different ways. It could be the XX, could be the XXI, it could be the, like, very small here, it could be the compass of the Masons, it could be the WW, it could be the 33, you could look at that in all kinds of different ways, but this has been taken out, so it's no longer relevant where we are here in this dimension, because it's gone. So, now, Da Vinci never did the legs and arms coming forward. That was just something that I wanted to do for myself, because the way Da Vinci had written the proportions of this man, the perfect proportions, you're able to move the limbs in any direction from the centered points. So the legs furthest apart, which are the base of the triangle, are gone, and the up and down mirroring is gone, and the almost Fibonacci code sequence of diamonds were gone. Diamonds, triangles, the triangulation of man, that whole part is gone. And what do I mean by all? I mean that the triangulation part of it is how you go from the squaring the circle, which is two-dimensional, to the triangle diamond tetrahedron, which is the fourth dimension. Tetrahedrons when you add time to it. And I had one hell of a time trying to find a self-collapsing triangle, because that is the principle that's going out the window here. The triangle with movement. The movement is the fourth dimension. It's the measurable time, or what we see as time. I just see it as movement because I don't particularly believe in time, but that's a different story. So if you think that the dimension of time is getting simplified down to what looks like a very two-dimensional, rudimentary, more left-brain way of looking at it, the in-the-box way of the squaring of the circle, let me know. Because I think some serious things are happening. It's not just the simplification of down to one physics is changing, and we're going to see the more that the great master's work is taken down a notch, we're going to see things move in different directions. They may take it up another notch, but in another way that we've never heard of. So I'm going to leave it there.